It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused, really late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is really provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources, there's a lot of them, that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this particular episode, we have the one and only Daniella. Did I get it right? Is it Daniella?
Yep.
I got it. Yay! I've been practicing, but she'll be here and we'll be talking about heart, wisdom, leadership, which is going to sound kind of interesting, but we'll find out what it is. But what's going on, Daniella? How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're happy to have you here. Thanks for being here. They're going to read your bio. They'll see how famous you are. But I'm just curious. We're going to be talking about leadership. I know it's on the tail end of heart, wisdom, and leadership is a part of it. But just for the audience to frame the conversation, why do folks struggle today with leadership, #1? And secondly, leadership means different things to different people. So can they, one, she can handle it, ladies and gentlemen, get your definition of what is leadership. And then #2, why do people even struggle with it these days? I mean, we've got Instagram messages coming out. We've got TikTok. We got a lot of YouTube, and yet they're still struggling as leaders. I don't get it. Please talk to us.
Yeah, it's a great question. I love this. So I want to start with actually what leadership isn't. And it's not a word you just look up in the dictionary, you read the definition, you're like, okay, cool, got it. That's leadership. For me, leadership is something that develops in you. It's a way of being. So I think the sort of old school way of looking at leadership has been managing, kind of around this idea of like managing people and managing different areas of life, or managing this and managing yourself. But leadership for me is much deeper than that. It's who's actually showing up to all that you are doing. How? It's the how. How are you being while you're doing what you're doing? How are you leading yourself? Who's showing up to that leading? What version of you is showing up to that leading? How are you leading other people? What version of you is showing up to that leading? So, and that how we be with what we do has a profound effect on the world around us, has a profound effect on people in where they decide, do I trust this person? Do I follow this person? Do I lean on this person, right? Because leading involves following as well.
You know, what's really interesting is you're speaking, and I know we're going to get into a number of different areas, and you talk about how this heart, wisdom, leadership can help in life and in business, which should be interesting, by the way. But here's what I like to do for a moment. If I can slow down, because I know you also get into the importance of health and your whole body yoga thing you have going on, which is cool. Take a moment and talk to the individual out there that's watching. Is like, okay, Shay, I know we're going to get into this health side. I'm a very busy person, Shay. Some of these folks work full-time jobs. They're full-time entrepreneurs. Some of these folks are moms that take care of families. Some are dads that take care of families. Others are involved in their community, and they're already going. And one of the challenges they have is, you want me to slow down and add something else to my list? So here's my question. Take a moment and talk about the importance of not only taking care of your health, but adding it to an already very, very, very busy schedule for a lot of folks that are watching now.
All right. So in terms of the health, that is going to affect, similar to what I just talked about, how you lead. If you're showing up as at your max, totally depleted, semi-depleted, not at your 100, or even at, like, people talk about reaching their greatest potential in life, right? This is a big buzz conversation that's in the world right now. So how are we going to reach our greatest potential if that doesn't include our health and our well-being on all levels? Because that's going to affect how we parent, how we show up as even children to our parents, to our families, to how we run a business, to how we lead our clients, to how we, manage money. I mean, it's across the board. So to me, health, I was talking about this with a colleague the other day. It's self-care isn't a luxury anymore. If you're going to be an entrepreneur these days, it's a non-negotiable. because that's another gateway to you becoming or discovering or embodying uh, your greatest potential, and knowing that and not living that, not just like, oh, I wonder what that is. Well, let's actually get there. And we get there faster, more efficiently when we can incorporate different habits in our daily routine that actually raise our energy, take care of us mentally, take care of us emotionally, spiritually, all the things. Then it's like, oh wow, now I see a new version of myself. Now I see new possibility. Now I have this new idea that I think I can actually create in my business. Whereas maybe before it was, oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy for that.
I love it. And before we get into your backstory and who you are and what led you here, because I know they're curious, and some folks, again, I said they've read your bio, but you have this concept, this secret, this secret sauce, if I can call that, heart, wisdom, leadership. Now, sounds like an oxymoron, right? You're going to have heart and you're going to be a leader, so you're going to have this feeling. What is it, number one? And how does it all come together? And for you that's watching right now, you, the entrepreneur, maybe you're a leader of one. You got to lead yourself. That's important. Maybe you're a leader in your community. You're going to benefit from this. And she mentioned earlier, maybe you're in an organization and you have responsibilities. The heart, wisdom, leadership will help in multiple areas. So first, let's get this whole thing, heart, wisdom, leadership, and let's find out the backstory. Like, how did she get to this?
Yeah, it's a story. So my background is in a lot of somatic work, a lot of body-based work, a lot of I have a huge yoga background, healing background in that. Uh, so the somatic work, I did that for over 20 years, and it's still a part of my business as far as the self-care piece. But with that embodiment method that I came up with, it's body temple yoga. It moves energy out of the head and into the heart. But how it does that is through the body. So typically, the classic entrepreneurial, challenge that's out there is we get overwhelmed with too many things, and or we have lack of focus. It's probably the biggest challenge is staying focused, right? And that's all here from the neck up. That's all head. And it's also these mental obstacles that we come up against, the fear, the self-doubt, the self-criticism, the scarcity, the not enough, that voice that talks in our ear that tells us all the reasons why we shouldn't and all the reasons why we can't. So if we're in a state of disembodiment where we're only living from the neck up, that's going to be a rough one. Creating life from that space, trying to lean on more possibility when all we're hearing is impossibility in our head. So that shift from here to here is the first step. Then the second step is the wisdom piece. Now, this is where I get into more personal transformation work, which is another huge part of my background too, which is to access the wisdom of the heart. We first have to cleanse the heart. So let me make a distinction here. When I say wisdom of the heart, we're leaning on that. I'm not saying we're leaning on wounding, unforgiveness, old resentments, all that stuff unresolved that gets stuck in the heart from whatever we walk through in life. There's a level of, resolution and healing that happens, right? Or that we choose to allow to have happen. And then that's a purifying of the heart. So then what's left? What's left when we purify the heart is wisdom, right? We think about like, what's God after in us? He wants our heart, right? Okay, so there's probably some gold in there, if that's the case. There's probably some gems in there, if that's the case. If our creator's after it, right? So what if we started digging in there for those gems and our gifts and our calling and why we're here? And now the pieces are starting to come together that are starting to reveal to myself and to every person on the planet a higher reason for being here, and that what is our true service to offer to the world, to contribute to humanity that is ours to give, that also has the best in store for us as well as the best in store for those that we're serving. So that's ultimately what we're leaning on is leaning on that wisdom to create the life that we want for ourselves, for our family, to create the business, the game-changing, world-changing business that we see for ourselves. And basically, we're leaning on what's already written, that's already hidden within the cave of the heart.
And when did you first know? We're curious. You told us about your backstory, but we kind of want to peel the curtain back a little bit and say, man, Shay, what was that defining moment where she said, you know what, I'm moving from this space, and I keep saying the yoga space, this space, into the heart wisdom space? Like, was it something? Tell us about your backstory that led you to that one moment. You said, I'm all in. This is who I'm going
Yeah.
to be. And thank God for what you're doing. You're making a big difference in the world. We'll talk about that. But what was the defining moment? We want to know, what's the backstory? How did she get there?
Got a lot of backstory and a lot of defining moments, actually. But I'll go back to the earliest one. I'll go back to the first defining moment, because I've had many. I'm even walking through another one right now. But I'll go back to the first defining moment was actually when I was 5 years old. And I already had an awareness of God, creator. I already knew, I already could feel that. Nobody had to tell me. And there was something in me that was looking around at the world. I was a very observant child, much quieter than I am now. But I was observing a lot. I was learning by observing, by watching. And I looked at the world that surrounded me initially, what I was seeing in my family and then in friends, and then just looking at the world. And I had this intuitive feeling, just this sense of like, there is more than this. I know there is more than this. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's more to love and to the heart than I'm being taught or shown. No idea what it is, but I put this sort of declaration out and said, I want to know what it is. So now I look back at that moment in my life, not having no idea what I was saying at 5 years old, what I was declaring, because you're 5, right? So, but there was that level of clarity that was already in me. But then from there, it was, oh, wow. Then I was given all these experiences, challenges in life that I had to walk through that kept answering that inquiry, that kept answering that prayer, that question that I put out. So that's where it all started. That seed was planted. I think we all have those seeds planted in us, but the seed sprouted. Let's put it that way. The seed sprouted at that young age. And then ever since, I've just been on a path of seeking, and leading with curiosity. And I'm like, okay, God's calling me this way. Okay, we're going. Okay, God's calling me this way. Okay, we're going to explore this way. And just stepping into the unknown over and over and over again with trust. And that's part of why I'm so passionate about teaching this heart wisdom leadership. Is because what I've been doing my whole life, and it's never led me astray. It's led me, not saying it was always peaches and cream walking, but it definitely led me to more wisdom, more understanding, more insight, and then experiences that kept answering that question and showed me that I am being led by something greater. There is something here for me and for everyone, if we're willing to listen to more than just this.
And what do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? I mean, I can hear the passion in your voice, but what do you enjoy most about it?
I enjoy most about witnessing other people's transformation and watching the light bulbs go off in their facial expressions. And not even just that, like that's a great start, but literally watching their life completely get aligned with who they are and what they came here to do. And they come back telling me, Daniella, I'm like the happiest I've ever been. I'm living, my best life right now. I feel so fulfilled. I never thought this could happen. Thank you so much. Like that's all I hear. And then, people coming in are coming in from the neck up. They're lost. They're confused. They're not sure which way to go. And they want something more. And they all say this, I feel like there's something missing.
So the person listeners out there, let's do first in business. And you've kind of done it throughout here, but I just want to kind of sum it up and say, okay, if you had to give them 3 steps, they're listening saying, okay, Shay, I like this whole heart leadership heart, wisdom, leadership. I like that. I'm an entrepreneur, or I run a team. She's going to give you one, maybe two or three things that you can do today just by being tuned in that can help you. And then after we finish, we'll come to the other side. Don't worry. I know some of you are sitting back and saying, hey, I'm trying to improve my life. Work is good, business is good, but really, as she said, and I think I've been there more than one time. Don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me. Where you said to yourself, I know there's more to life than this. And there's been times where things have been good. There's been times where I was struggling. So I like her to talk to you. So let me slow down. Give one, two, maybe three ideas on the business side that they can apply the heart, wisdom, leadership that can help their organization or team.
Okay, awesome. So one of the biggest things, and I'll tie it back to what I said in the beginning, is how you're leading your people within your business, within your organization. We all come across, maybe people that we hire that maybe we have trouble with, or that don't work out, or that there's, miscommunication in how things need to be handled. Heart wisdom in terms of communication is, again, it's, yes, we're leading. Yes, we know what we want to do. Yes, we know what our next level is. Yes, we know our financial goals. All of that's great. But what about within the organization? What's the culture that you're creating within your people? Are they on the same trajectory as you in your vision? Do they feel like they are part of something greater with you within your organization? Or do they feel like they're just coming in, doing their job because they're good at it and they've got all the skills and they've got the education and they've got the degrees and they're rocking it in their department and they're getting the results? But I wonder if it could go to a whole new level, and this is why I believe it could, where everybody that's on your team or within your organization feels like they are part of a mission that is like they are there to contribute their gifts, all of their gifts that God gave them, and they're being used up in your organization. And they're there to take your organization to that next level, whatever your vision is. And they feel like they're a part of it. They're not just an employee that's clicking in and clicking out, and that's it, coming and doing their job and leaving. That will create better results, more inspiration in the company for better results, higher revenue, and more retention. And then you're starting to move forward from a totally different place. That's all leadership. That all falls on leadership and how you lead, not managing, like I was talking about in the beginning. Managing people's got a whole different frequency to it. Leading from inspiration and from the heart and from, hey, what are your gifts? And let's use them all. And hey, how could you use those better? And hey, let's get you over here and do that. And then everybody feels like they're tapping into their genius and it's all being used well. And the whole organization moves as one big, massive organism instead of the head of it moving and then dragging everybody with it, as an example. There's so much potential to go to a whole new level when an organization is moving together. And there's that feeling, if we're going to talk feelings, right? We're going to talk, they're all invested in it, not from okay, yeah, it's my job. I'm invested in this because I believe in this and I'm here for this. That's a whole different game.
I love how you did that. I love it. I'm feeling energy, which you're doing through the power of these fiber optic lines. So thanks so much. Now, you kind of dipped into it a little bit, but I just want you to give maybe one idea on the lifestyle side. For those folks that are in business, and this is very important, and this is what I found that was unique when you have a chance to go out there, and I'm sure y'all are Googling on her website now, and she'll share with you how you connect with her. She's very, very clear that this can help you in business and in life. And so now I'm going to ask you just to share one idea and how you can apply it in your life, because at the end of the day, the person that we are, I believe, is how we're able to do more, be more, have more, give more. We can improve the quality of our own life and control what we can control. So it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter if you like this president or the last president, or if you're liberal or conservative, or it doesn't matter if you believe you should have a mask or not, or whatever it is your beliefs are, they're yours. Here's what we do know. In order for things to change, we got to change. And so I think it's the right time to focus on one idea that we can shift using the heart, wisdom, leadership inside of us. they can make our families and our communities much stronger and better. So do you mind sharing one idea? I know you weren't planning on kind of doing this whole type of teaching, but it's so important and it's so different and it's so unique. And I'm thank you for being here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate it. So what's one idea they can use on the life side?
On the life side is, I mean, every day in your life you're facing decisions, right? You're having to make choices, you're having to make decisions all day long in your life just as much as you are in your business, with your kids, if you have kids, with your partner, spouse, whatever. How you treat your body, the food you're going to put in there, is asking yourself a singular question with all of the choices that we have. Is this these decisions or these options that I have to make? Just take a quick moment of pause. Doesn't have to take a lot of time. Is what I'm about to do, or opting potentially about to do, is this going to move me in the direction of what I really want to experience for my life and the others in my life, or does it have the potential to set me back and move me away from it? It sounds really simple, but the more we incorporate that, and that's very heart-based, right? That's tapping into vision. It's tapping into, what do I want to keep experiencing for my life, whatever your next level might be for yourself. But what do I want to keep experiencing in this? So is this choice I'm about to make, whatever that is, going to move me in that direction or not move me in that direction? And whatever the choice we end up choosing is going to determine that. So, and that could be translatable to your business too. It's every area of your life. Business is one area, right? So I find that asking really powerful questions that are from the heart, like, what do you really want? What is really alive for you? Instead of like, oh, I think I should do this. That's probably the best thing to do, right? It's shifting into, okay, but does this really feel in alignment with what I'm called to do? Is this matching who I know what I know I came here to do and who I came here to be? And let that question, or the answer to that question, direct your next steps.
They're probably thinking, man, Shay, she's got it together. Daniella's like perfect. I love it. Here's what you need to do in your life. Here's what you need to do in your business. Here's Heart Wisdom System. We all come together. We make this thing happen. And I know you're all curious because we have a segment here. You might be wondering, man, when's the time there was a challenge in her life when she had to apply some of this and bounce back, right? And so we have a segment here for all the new folks called Today is My January 1st. And for those folks that are tuning in for the very, very first time, welcome to the family. I'm glad you're here. I'll share what Today is My January 1st is. For all the folks who are here every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, boy, we really appreciate you. You know what we're going to say. You can go ahead and say those magic words now. Today is my January 1st. Doesn't that feel good? Now, for the new folks, today is my January 1st is our personal mantra. It's one of our core beliefs. And today is my January 1st represents a new start. Today is my January 1st represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter what has happened back there, no longer equals our future. So my question to Daniella on the other side is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And number two, where was a time in your life where there was some setback? Maybe things didn't go the way you wanted them to, and you had to bounce back from it. If you don't mind being vulnerable and sharing with us.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I think I kind of hinted to this a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
that I'm sort of going through that right now. I'm just coming out the other side. But to answer your question initially, when I hear today's my January 1st, today I'm born again. Today I get to redefine, recreate who I am and who I want to be in the world and what I want to do with my life. That we can do in any given moment. So I love that. I feel so much energy around that. So in light of that, I have come across many challenges, but I'll give you the most recent one because it's so alive for me right now. And the beginning of this year, 2023, I started to become very ill out of nowhere. My health started to decline very quickly, and I didn't know why. It literally just was out of nowhere. And I'm typically a very healthy person, very health conscious person, been that way most of my life. And it was getting so bad. The pain was so bad. The discomfort was so bad. I had a moment where I was like, okay, I think, I wonder if this is it for me. Like, is this the thing, whatever this is, that's going to take me out? Because I couldn't find an answer for it. Well, that was about 3 months of suffering like that. And I was seeing a holistic practitioner for help without that. And she was helping me to uncover what was there. March, we uncovered it, and it was a diagnosis for a chronic disease called Bartonella. And it's a bacteria. No one's heard of it. I didn't hear it either. I thought it was a song. But apparently it's a bacteria.
I really love your humor. It's funny.
So it's a bacteria, and it's very similar to Lyme's disease. Not quite the same, but similar. So if you know anything about Lyme's, people really suffer a lot from it. So for me, it attacked my brain. So I had, it crossed my blood-brain barrier. So I had brain fog, nervous system attacked, somewhat neurology, of course, it's all affected. And then I had body pain and fatigue. So you can imagine with those kind of symptoms, it's almost impossible to run a business. So that was started in January, and I had to take a step back. And my business was going well. I in 2022 was again another year of the best year yet, revenue wise, celebration wise, all the things, like we just kept growing every year. And then this comes out of nowhere, and I have to take a huge step back. But what I did within myself, and this goes back to being, is I could have fallen into the victim. I could have been, woe is me, now I have to quit, now this. I could have gone down that spiral. That was an option. But what I chose to do instead, even amidst all the pain and discomfort in my body, and daily wondering, am I going to get through this? Is this going to be the rest of my life now? And there were days where I literally couldn't even read a book. That's how bad the focus, lack of focus, and the brain fog was. But I said to myself, I'm going to be a God story. I said, I am going to figure this out somehow. I am not going to let this go longer than a year. And I made that declaration and commitment to myself. Of course, that direct declaration and commitment to myself showed up in my actions, in working with all kinds of holistic doctors, doing research on my own when I had the energy to do it, and showing up as best I could for my business when I could, even though I had to take a pretty substantial step back and just rest when I needed to, and then just surrender to the whole thing and trust. But I was every day would get up and lean on that, promise to myself or declaration that I made to myself every single day. And today's, September 12th. It's 9 months in. I got the diagnosis in March. So we're 6 months from that, knowing what it is. So it was helpful, right, to know what to do next. So I'm here at the 6 month mark, essentially. And where my good days had turned into maybe 70%, and bad days were just, I was not functional. Now I just turned the corner, and now I'm back at 90%. There's no way I'd be on this podcast even without it. And it's a huge shift. That was an example of leadership. So if I can do that, in my life and with my health, and I said to myself, this is unacceptable. I had to know that it was a non-negotiable. Like, this thing, whatever this is, okay, cool, fine, we'll deal with it. But this has now become a non-negotiable in my life. So then moving forward with that, my mission, my work is too important for me to go. I'm not going anywhere. And that conviction, that commitment, that making a powerful decision on who I was going to be in the face of a challenge that I thought for a moment was going to take me out, is now something that has transformed me. I'm not the same woman I was December of 2022 before this started. I can feel it in my bones. Like, my business is about to get another up level now that she's coming back. She has risen from the ashes, and things are about to get real around here. So, and of course, there's going to be a lot around this to teach people. But there's always that silver lining, right? And so it's looking for that. How can I leverage a challenge to be something that I can rise from, grow from, know more of who I am from, glean wisdom from, and then apply that forward to my life, to my business, to every area of my life for the rest of my life.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so transparent. I'm glad to see you where you are, and I'm glad you could be here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. So thank you so much. Please share with the audience as we come down the home stretch. What type of clients are you working with these days, if any? If your firm's taking on any clients, I know you said you're going through multiple shifts, so we don't know. We'll find out. And number two, how can folks best connect with you so they can stay in the conversation over and beyond today?
Okay. Yes, I am taking clients. Absolutely. We are not wasting any time over here. I'll tell you what, like the moments when I was going through the ups and downs, the moments that I felt good, I knew they weren't going to last very long because they were starting to see patterns. So I would get as much as I could done in those moments and then crash. And that was kind of like the pattern. But now we're coming back. So yes, I absolutely am taking clients. I'm thrilled to be taking clients. And the kind of clients that I work with are people who already have established businesses. They love their businesses. They feel like it's their calling. They feel in alignment with it. However, what they want to do with it is take it to a legacy level. They want to grow it beyond just for themselves and their own success and their families taken care of and all that, and they have their dream lifestyle, and that's great. But they feel and sense there's more potential to be gleaned from what they've already built, to create a legacy that lives on beyond them. So when we do leave the planet, what we've created still exists, and it has a great impact on society, a positive impact on society, a positive impact on humanity in some way. So if whoever wants to be making a legacy, we got to talk.
I love it. Now, so how do they connect with you? Where do they go? Is there a website? Do they call your office? They go online? How can they best connect with you?
They can best connect with me. I'm all over social media. I'm practically on every platform. Website, DanielaC.com. They can find me there. Daniella C is the first letter of my last name, Cotreau. They can find me there, DanielaC.com, and then all over social media. They can email me. They can message me on social media. I'm easy to catch. I'm easy to catch.
Well, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate your time. We know you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So you're giving us the most precious resource you have, which is your time. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you. Thank you, the viewer. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Without you, well, there is no show. And I never get tired of saying these words. Every night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I wait to share these words with you. But if you haven't heard today, I want you to know that you're awesome, that you're truly amazing, that you're incredible, that you've got so much greatness inside you, so much potential, and that for you, today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason, your best is still yet to come. I believe your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, for those folks that might have forgotten, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone, and we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless, and keep doing God's work. Bye-bye, Danielle. We appreciate you. Peace, everybody. We out. Bye-bye.